Anthony from Tillingham Health Society here. So a quick presentation on why we need to prioritise holistic, personalised and preventative healthcare. The problem is, or it's not a problem, it's a good thing, our lifespan has doubled under the last 200 years, according to Karolinska. But we cannot say the same thing about our health span. Now, health span is the amount of time during our life that we are considered to be healthy. And the second half of our lives, or the last quarter, we're not nearly as healthy as the first part. And that we need to put more focus on. Increasing our health span rather than our lifespan, so that we have many more years that we can enjoy rather than many more years that we live. And there's many, many factors behind this, but the three major ones as I see them are very sedentary lifestyle. We do not move nearly enough. Ultra-processed foods, many asterisks here, but for the large part, most health bodies and most nutritional agencies agree that ultra-processed foods are not good for people. Again, many asterisks and disclaimers. It's never black and white. And then finally, specialized medicine. Western medicine is way too specialized, so it doesn't take in the holistic overview of the patient on the whole. My experience is I work in now a multidisciplinary team where we have napropaths, massage therapists, trainers, psychologists and doctors, physios, the whole gamut of healthcare professionals. And we're able to help patients that have bounced around in the healthcare system for years and haven't been able to get any real help. We can't help everyone, but because we have more time and access to more tools, we've been able to help people who have been chronically in pain or chronically tired for years, and conventional medicine hasn't helped them just by changing the angle of how we look at their health. So we'll come to the healthcare system. Now, first things first, I love it. It's awesome. I'm so glad we have it. It's amazing that it's available for everyone. It's at a very good price. Anyone who needs it can afford it. And it fixes things now that would have killed us 60 years ago or for the rest of human history. It's incredible. I'm so happy we have it. So don't take this any other way. But you can love a thing and wish to improve upon it. And it's one of the major ones is it's too specialized. It doesn't have enough overview of the patient. The heart specialist doesn't speak to the endocrinologist, that doesn't speak to any other specialist. We can go on for the list. But when it comes to medical education, and I worked in medical education myself, working with King's College London, and when we educated junior doctors, they didn't have nearly enough time when it was spent nutrition. I went up looking the figure, and on average it's about 11 hours. I think it was about 18 hours when I was working there. But worldwide, Western medicine gives about 11 hours to junior doctors. And you'll find many articles and many reports about junior doctors saying this is unacceptable. They want more time with this. Because eating, what we put in us, is the major thing we do, apart from movement. And they don't have nearly enough education on how the stuff we put in us affects us. Physical therapy, the same thing. They have physical therapists, so most of that knowledge is offloaded to the physical therapist. The doctors, of course, have education on this, but not nearly enough, and not enough so that they feel confident discussing that with the patient, unless they are very interested in themselves and take special educations related to it. We've got this Harvard, Stanford educated anaesthetologist that says that traditionally when they go to medical school, they deal with acute situations and they do it extremely well, but they are not trained for normal wellness, not trained for low-level health optimizations or for low-level problems. They deal with acute stuff and they do it fantastically, but they don't have enough time or resources or incentive to sit down with their patients for an hour and teach them about their own health and to empower their patients. We come to the overspecialization in medicine. You should be able to cure people or help people, but because the heart specialist doesn't talk to the oncologist, who doesn't talk to the endocrinologist, That'll fix their little bit and cause problems in the other domain. What you need is a healthcare professional, a doctor, or someone else who has the knowledge and training to have an overview of the patient, to bring in all the specialists, or to bring in all the treatment plans and all the problems, and then to build a specialized, a special overview for that patient and a special treatment plan for that patient to help them, balancing all the factors instead of every doctor fixing their little portion of the problem. It works when you only have one problem, but if you've got many, it doesn't work so well, unfortunately. Quick fixes. All right, so now we're shifting topics a bit, but quick fixes. Everyone wants to sell you something. And myself, I know this as well, I would like a pill to fix things. I would like one exercise to fix my shoulder. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I like to think of it like a house. You can't just vacuum once and then it's done. You have to do it a little bit all the time. It's annoying, I know, like doing the dishes and doing the washing. You have to do it constantly. It never stops. But it's the same thing with owning a body. You can't just do one thing and then be healthy forever. You have to constantly maintain. You have to constantly look after yourself. And that doesn't have to be as boring as it sounds. There's a lot of awesome ways of doing this. You can cook well. You can move well. You can find stuff that you love and is interesting. But anyone trying to sell you a quick fix, it doesn't normally work. And you know this for yourself. Painkillers are not a solution. They're a way of popping the problem under the carpet, but you still have to deal with it later. There's no quick shake or fad diet that is going to make you feel better in the long term. They all have their problems. The only thing you can do is long-term sustainable changes. Change your diet for the better, slowly, incrementally. Walk more. Take more responsibility for your health in a very sustainable way, not massive sweeping changes. Anyone that works in fixing anything, cars, computers, bodies, it doesn't matter what, anyone who works with fixing anything will tell you that it's way, way easier to sell a solution to a problem after it's happened than to sell the education to stop it happening in the first place. We all know this when our car's broken down. We could have done that service, but we didn't, and now we have to get the car towed or whatever. And it's the same with the body. It's not until it starts breaking down that we miss how well it felt before. So this is where we get into prehab. And it's the simple things about keeping yourself feeling good, going for a little walk, keeping your mobility up. It's way, way easier to keep something in good condition than it is to fix it after it breaks. We've got that old English expression, a stitch in time saves 9. If you fix it now, you won't have to do a much bigger fix later. And it's the same with the body. If you can't squat, if you can't run because you haven't in a long time, it's going to take you an enormous amount of energy to build that coordination, mobility, strength back up again, when maybe you could have done just a few seconds throughout the day to keep what you already have. And it's that way with prehab. It's making sure that you eat well, really well. And I don't mean you can't have a burger every now and then. It's about listening to your body and what makes you feel good long term, not short fix. Chocolate bar makes us feel good now, but we know it doesn't make us feel good long term. And that's what prehab is. Doing what's best for you for the long term, even though the lizard brain wants its quick fixes now. I have athletes that I've trained that do their prehab every day, and they're the only athletes that haven't missed days, or if they have, they've come back real quick to their training and matches because they get back from injury quicker. But most of them, I have a football player in the first division who hasn't missed a day because he doesn't get injured, because he puts all the time into keeping his body healthy. And then we come into education and information. And this is where we need to start with children. We can do it with adults, but it's way easier to get people before they form bad habits. So you need to empower children. You need to teach them that they have control over their health. And they can do that by how they eat. They probably should avoid the sugar, even though that's the thing that lights the brain up and makes us all happy. And they should move constantly. They should find something that they feel good about. If it's dance, if it's floorball, if it's swimming, it doesn't matter. They should find something that makes them want to move and do it. And we should teach them that dancing and running and everything is awesome and it's good for you. Even if you don't need to do it competitively, you need to do it to feel good. And what I want to end on is this. There are no quick fixes, only small daily improvements. So it's daily movement. Go walk in the forest as often as you can. It's the best thing for your body and soul. And there's loads of science to prove this. Dance. Don't need to do it in a club. You don't need to go out and show off. You can do it in the kitchen and crank the music. What's that phrase? Dance like nobody's watching. Or, like I prefer to do, dance when nobody's watching. Eat well. The best advice I got from an old trainer, because I don't like to think, is if there's more than one ingredient on the packet, avoid it. It is probably processed. Again, so many asterisks. But I like simple rules. Keep it simple. And then the last one, before we get to the sources, is smile. Laugh. Enjoy yourself. Be kind to yourself. Speak positively to yourself, because that's the thing that's worth more than any other medicine. The more negative you are with yourself, the worse you will feel. And I know it's not easy to say smile and be happy. But that's a choice that we have to work on, like any form of training. And with that, here are the sources. And there will be a Swedish script of this presentation that you can read through instead, which is far less rambly and more concise. Thank you.